Welcome to the Alamo Master Arborist channel. Today I'll be discussing how to become a Registered Consulting Arborist, or RCA. This is through an organization called the American Society of Consulting Arborists. They are really, while the ISA is recognized by 100 plus countries or so, the ASCA is really recognized only by the North American countries. Canada, United States, and I believe maybe even Mexico. Because it's a different organization, there are a lot more nuances and a longer process than the ISA. Some of the municipalities that recognize the ASCA or RCA, Registered Consulting Arborists, are like Los Angeles, for instance. I believe that they require a Registered Consulting Arborist in order to obtain permits for tree work. And that's just one of the examples. So as time goes on, this is considered a higher level of arboriculture. There are different levels of an ASCA. You could be a member of the ASCA, and you have to be a member in order to become a Registered Consulting Arborist. Now, to become a member, you have to pay the dues of $549, I believe, and you have to have 240 CEUs verified by the ASCA in order to become a member. And once you become a member, to become an RCA, you have to go to an academy. Now, the academy is hosted once a year in the United States in different places. It's been in Florida, California. And when I got mine, it was in San Antonio. You have to attend the academy. They do ask that you do a report for that academy, a pre-report, in which you send in and is graded. And so that they'll help you actually do a higher level of writing. And then at the end of the academy, they ask that you do another report writing. And both of these are not graded, other than that they are shown what you could have done better and kind of what your grade would have been if they had accounted it. Another thing is they'll give you a test at the end of the academy. It's typically a week long. And at the end of the academy, they'll give you a test, and you have to score, I believe, a 75 or higher on that test. If you do not pass the test, unfortunately, you will not be able to become an RCA, or Registered Consulting Arborist. You'd have to go to the academy again. It can be kind of expensive. The academy, I believe, is about for attending the academy, it's about $2,500, and then in order to buy and everything else, when you're all said and done, you're probably spending around $4,000 with the memberships and the attendance. But once you've attended the academy and you've passed the academy test and you've done 2 reports, and you kind of have an idea of what they're looking at in terms of report writing, the next step is to apply to become a Registered Consulting Arborist. Then in that application, you'll have to put a CV, which shows your work history. You have to have at least 420 CEUs, I believe. And I do believe if you're a board certified master arborist, they give you 350. So you'll have to have 70 plus CEUs documented in a CEU listing, along with your transcripts from colleges that you've gone to. And all this puts together can account for CEUs and other certifications. I believe they give you some for any other licenses that you may have. Anything that's through ISA, they count that as CEUs. Luckily, I had hundreds of CEUs through ISA that are documented. They'll count that, and that has to be part of your transcripts in order for you to apply to become a Registered Consulting Arborist. So you've gone to the academy, you've tested, you passed the test at the academy. You've done 2 mock reports that they've given you and that you've gotten graded, but you don't need to pass those. But they've showed you how to write, and then you've become an ASCA member already at this point. You've showed you've met the CEU requirement for that, and you've paid your dues. And now the last 2 things that you're going to have to do in order to become a Registered Consulting Arborist is you're going to have to do 2 reports that are graded, and you have to make over 75s on them. And once they're graded and then they're approved, then you'll become an RCA. The reports can take a while to create. Some of them can be up to 15, 16, even 20, 25 pages long, depending on um, how detailed you are on them. And they'll have things like glossaries and summaries and works cited and pictures and diagrams and what have you. It's almost like textbook writing. And um, I believe I got like 94s, 96s on mine that I did. I spent a lot of time on them. And you're just trying to write it in such a way that a common person can understand it, but it's also being written in such a way to cover, to make sure you cover both ends or all sides of the situation in order to be as honest and as transparent as possible. These reports are really used in litigation aspects, can be used in litigation aspects, can be used in lawsuits, land disputes, uh, tree risk assessments, you name it. All these reports can be had. So one of them, the first one is the report that is a report that's given to you. The report is all the information that's given to you by the ASCA. They'll say, okay, we accept your RCA status, I mean your RCA application, you've met all the requirements, now you have to do these reports. They'll give you the mock report information, and then you'll have to send it back to them. They'll grade, you have to pay $100 for them to grade that report. Then once they've graded it and they approved it and said you passed, then you have to do another report, which is one that you've done by yourself. So one of the ones I've done by myself is for the electric company I did here. They asked me to go look at a tree that the customer was concerned that we had overpruned the tree or what the problems of the tree were. And the tree was diseased for many years. Us pruning it did not really have that effect. And so I did an actual ASCA style report on it. And I, did multiple viewpoints. I had multiple pictures. I had a glossary. I had a table of contents. I had all the requirements for that and the writing, that style that they'll teach you. And then I submitted it and I got my grade back. And after that, after all that process, I finally became a registered consulting arborist. It took me about, from start to finish, less than a year. I believe I started in February, and then the following January, I got the RCA status. I started in February, end of February, early March, and then completed the academy, jumped through all the hoops. Then I became a member, and then I submitted the reports, and then finally I became a RCA status. Now, the thing about the RCA status, you do have to pay the dues, $550 every year. To tell you the truth, it may not be worth it to a lot of arborists. What I would say to you is that it helps separate you from other certified arborists. A certified arborist understands tree biology, I would say, and to a standard. What the ASCA does is actually help you apply that in terms of either litigation, report writing, and just assessments in general. It doesn't really go into the tree knowledge and tree biology and tree structure. They expect you to really have that information, which is what being a certified arborist kind of guarantees a certain level of expertise in trees. So they're not, by you demonstrating that you have 420 CEUs, shows that you have some reasonable competency for tree knowledge. Now, that being said, what it is best for, I think, is there is a whole group of people out there that are registered consulting arborists. A lot of them have PhDs. A lot of them are educated in different fields of arboriculture to the top levels, top echelons, the top rounds of arboriculture. And if you need help, you can ask them, and it's kind of worth its weight in gold if you're doing high levels of arboriculture to reach out to these communities that have a ASCA registered consulting arborists, because they really are in a vast, or their knowledge is very vast, especially in specific types of arboriculture, whether it's LiDAR, whether it's utility, whether it's planting installation, whether it's litigation dealing with insurances. These people are really, really knowledgeable in their field. And I get it. I'm very interested because I am part of a thread. It puts you in part of a thread with emails with people dealing with questions, asking questions, and you're part of this elite group of people in arboriculture. And if you have any questions, I have yet to use it, but I've learned so much just reading the questions and responses that are dealing with high levels of arboriculture. And so anyway, I would recommend if you are into learning and you're constantly trying to grow, the ASCA is one of the best ways to do it. It does separate you from the pack. I believe in Texas, there's only about 12 or 15 registered consulting arborists, something like that. So I'm one of the 12 or one of the 15. And it does put you in a higher level of expertise and in report writing, and it does help in terms of being accountable and reputable in terms of actually documenting information. And so in that regards, I'll say it's definitely worth its weight in gold if you're trying to if that's one of the things you're most interested in doing, if you're trying to reach the higher levels of arboriculture. It is kind of pricey, and it is, but a lot of the experience I got from people that were there was very beneficial, especially if you're trying to grow a business or grow your own business and the higher levels of report writing in arboriculture. That being said, I hope you like this video. I'll probably link the description of the ASCA RCA process. It's kind of confusing, and I would encourage you guys, if you need help, please reach out to me. The best way to reach out to me is through the email. You can put a post question on this video. I'll be sure to get back to you. It just may take me a while. Sometimes I am really busy. The best way to reach out to me is either call me, text me, or email me, and that'll be at the end of the video. I really appreciate this. I really appreciate the support I've gotten from you guys in terms of posting these videos. I'm going to try to do at least once a week or every so often. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on any of these processes. That being said, you guys have a great day, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you.